8:51 de la mañana. Peter Stano, muy buenos días.
Hola, buenos días de Bruselas.
¿En qué momento nos encontramos? ¿En qué momento histórico nos encontramos después de vivir ayer una escalada total en el conflicto, en la guerra de Ucrania? ¿Y en qué punto está Europa también dentro de esta escalada?
Es un punto muy grave, muy dramático, y voy a continuar en inglés para explicar. Obviously, this constitutes a new escalation from the side of Russia. I mean, the historical breaking point was, of course, February 24, 2022, so 2 years ago when Russia launched this aggression, because right from the start of this aggression, Russia is continuing upping up the stakes, meaning escalating, coming up with a new escalatory steps. If you remember, first, of course, it was like bombarding of whole Ukraine. The whole country was bombarded. Then it was using food as a weapon. They started to bombard and shoot at grain exports from Ukraine. So they prevented the exports of food stuff that was important for countries in Africa and Asia. So they globalized this conflict and created a food crisis. They created energy crisis because this had also impact on the energy prices. Now they are bombarding the infrastructure, the energy infrastructure in Ukraine, which is another escalation. And then another very grave escalation for everyone in Europe, but also beyond Europe, was that Putin brought into this conflict Iranians, from whom he is taking drones and possibly missiles, and he brought North Korean soldiers to the European soil. So he brought soldiers from the most autocratic, most despicable dictatorship in the world, North Korea. He brought them to Russian soil and possibly also to the Ukrainian soil now when they are fighting. So it's escalation after escalation after escalation. So the use of these new missiles yesterday, and there are still discussions whether it was intercontinental ballistic missile or intermediate range missile, whatever. It was a new weapon that was used, and it was another signal by Putin that he is not seeking peace, he is seeking more escalation, more confrontation, and total subjugation of Ukraine.
¿Cree que se puede poner un poco de calma a la situación actual? ¿Que se puede ir unos pasos hacia atrás en este avance hacia la escalada? ¿Que podemos ver una relajación, sobre todo antes de la llegada de Trump? Todo parece indicar que con la llegada de Trump podría relajarse, pero hasta entonces queda mucho tiempo.
The whole world, everyone normal, every responsible member of the international community wants the escalation and wants peace. Unfortunately, Putin is not responding to this ambition. Putin is escalating. And every time his escalation went without any meaningful response, he felt encouraged to do more. This is the same process or the same method Hitler was using at the start of the Second World War. He was pushing, trying to see in how far he is allowed to go. And he was upping the stakes until he provoked the Second World War. And this is what Putin is doing. This is very dangerous, and that's why the European position, the position of the European Union remains, he needs to be stopped. Ukraine needs to be helped. We need to show him that we will not accept this blackmail, this intimidation, and this confrontation, and we will do it not by backing down and appeasing him, but by helping Ukraine, because we have the potential. So we need to continue helping Ukraine as much as we can, especially Europeans, regardless what the United States would do under Trump. It's our neighborhood, our responsibility. Putin, by attacking Ukraine, is attacking the European Union, our values, and the way how the European Union is set up, meaning democratic community based on the respect for the rights of its citizens. And this is the biggest problem for Putin. This is what he wants to destroy. So through Ukraine, he is leading war against us, the European Union, although he claims this is against the NATO, but actually NATO enlarged as a consequence of the Russian invasion. NATO admitted 2 more member states, the former neutral countries, Sweden and Finland. So it's not really about the NATO, it's about the community of values and freedoms at the doorstep of the Russian neo-imperialistic empire that Putin wants to construct.
En esta grave situación en la que nos encontramos, le tengo que hacer una pregunta clave, que es la que muchos ciudadanos europeos están haciendo. ¿Estamos seguros con los sistemas de defensa europeos, los ciudadanos europeos, en este entorno en el que claramente está escalando?
Of course, Europe is safe. European citizens are safe. At this stage, we have enough capacities and enough instruments to protect ourselves. But the problem is that if Ukraine falls, and the war in Ukraine already now, it's a huge threat to our stability. You have seen that there are drones or debris from missiles falling on the territory of the EU member states. You see that there have been people killed on the territory of the member states of the European Union earlier in the conflict, in Poland, for example, because of this war. So it's the longer it continues, the bigger the risks for us. And that's why in the name of the stability and safety and security in Europe, we need to make sure that the aggressor is stopped, that the aggressor is punished, and that the aggressor will not repeat this aggression again, because it undermines the stability in Europe. And Putin, nowadays, he is the biggest security threat for European citizens, but we have enough means to be able to protect ourselves.
Muchísimas gracias por atendernos, Peter Stano, y deseamos que se reconduzca la situación y que pueda otra vez volver a rebajarse esta escalada. Buen día, buen negocio.
Muchas gracias, hasta muy pronto.
Son las 9 menos 3 minutos, 8:57. En 3 minutos abren las bolsas en el viejo continente, abren las bolsas en Europa.